Today on the Rectified podcast, we are witnessing the evolution of an entrepreneur in real time. A few months ago, Tamar Panossian, the founder of 57 Végane, sat in that chair to discuss a potential rebrand. But instead of just changing a logo or a color palette, she did something far more radical. She looked at the entire plant-based industry, saw what was missing, and decided to build a whole new category from the ground up. Enter Oudélic. We've all seen the headlines. Consumers are tired of ultra-processed fake meats and are demanding transparency. Tamar has answered that call with a product that is high protein, uncompromisingly clean, and very easy to prepare. Today, she's back to give us the exclusive update on why she pivoted, how she's navigating the great vegan reset of 2026, and how she managed to create a high-protein staple that actually belongs in a chef's kitchen, not a chemistry lab. Let's get into it. Welcome back, Tamar. The last time we talked, you were on this podcast. It was done online, not in person, and we talked about 57 Végane and how you were planning a rebrand, and a lot of things happened since then. Tell me a little bit more about what happened since the last episode until today.
Yeah, so it feels like it's been many, many years between that podcast and now because there's a lot of work involved in coming up with a brand, let's say. So the biggest decision we took was to keep our 57 Végane brand and not change it, to keep kind of the history and keep also the clients, because there's we didn't want to lose our active clients, of course, with our sandwich brand, but we decided to introduce a second brand to be more to cater to a bigger audience, I guess, and an audience who wouldn't be afraid of seeing the word vegan on a brand, even though it's plant-based. That's basically what it means.
Yeah.
So the second brand we came up with is Oudélic. And Oudélic is an Armenian word that just means something to eat.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute, and people were able to pronounce it, so we decided to go with that. And Oudélic will be the brand behind all of our vegetable proteins, our plant-based proteins that are pre-marinated, pre-cooked. So it's very simple. Grab it, heat it, or eat it cold even, and just add it to your menu.
We're hearing a lot about the great vegan reset of 2026. It's basically people who are, it started in 2025 and now 2026. The great vegan reset is basically the trend of people going towards cleaner products, cleaner ingredients, things that don't have, like if I read the label, it doesn't have 5,000 things that I don't understand. It's a few ingredients that I understand.
Yeah.
So is this where you got the idea behind Oudélic and the product that you have created?
That was a goal of ours since the beginning of our history. We always wanted to keep our food clean and use simple ingredients. And we've always mentioned that if it's ingredients that we ourselves would not consume, we wouldn't eat, we don't want to use it in our product. And I'm happy that there's such a movement, if there is. It's the first time I'm hearing about it. People should be wary of what they're eating, what they're putting into their bodies. And yes, it had been a big problem in the beginning of the vegan movement, especially.
Yeah.
We've heard of a lot of brands that had ultra-processed ingredients in their product lines. I guess that's where the misconception came too of non-vegans thinking that plant-based or vegan means that it's ultra-processed, and that didn't help the vegan movement, should I say, until now. So it's a good thing.
Yeah. There's a whole also movement of people who are not vegan who also want to, whether it's for their budget or, for so many different reasons, they also want to try vegan products. But there's that misconception that you mentioned in their minds that vegan food is more like whatever, plastic or something like that. Everything is like faux meat, faux fish, faux whatever, and that it's bad. And it's all chemicals, etc. And me, I'm not a vegan person, but I also like have tofu. I also try different products, which is something that I want to also have as part of mixing up the meals that I have. I don't want to have a steak every single day. or
course.
ground beef. If you're enjoying this conversation and want to make sure you never miss an episode, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. We cover stories, insights, and practical strategies from founders and product based businesses that you won't hear anywhere else. And if you know someone who's building a brand or thinking about starting one, share this episode with them. They'll thank you later. Back to the conversation with Tamar. So, tell me a little bit more about the ingredients that are used in Oudélic and a little bit more about this product.
Yeah. I think using those words, faux beef, faux chicken,
Yeah.
didn't help either. Like in the industry, those were the words that were being used, and maybe that's also not helped people get accustomed to trying alternatives. It's an alternative.
Yes.
During Lent or whatever, we eat vegan foods without knowing that it's vegan. Essentially, that's what it means. It just means no animal products, right? So Oudélic wants to be the brand that helps people have alternatives in their foods. Its texture is very close to meat or chicken. It's very easy to eat. It's flavorful. It keeps all the flavor, all the spices. And it's very easy to use. You just heat it up and you eat it. It's just like any meat. We were at a convention lately and people were eating it. They're like, oh my God, it tastes exactly like meat because meat, it doesn't taste good unless you season it, right?
Yes.
So this is the same thing. It's a base that we've seasoned with the same seasonings, gave it the same flavor, and that's it.
Yeah. It is it is easy to use, and I was thinking about it. I was just telling you before we started recording that I was looking about how I can make like a beef bowl, which is something that I always make. I put like sweet potato and ground beef and all of those ingredients on top. And I wanted to recreate that in a vegan way using tofu. And it was a lot of work that I gave up on it. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this. And then I realized how useful something like the ground beef from Oudélic would be useful. Like I'll just heat it up and put it on my sweet potato and I'll just have a meal.
Exactly.
And it has a lot of protein in it. Tell me more about the protein.
So it does have a lot of protein in it, and it's basically pea protein concentrate and fava bean concentrate, and then all of our spices and water to hydrate it. So it's very simple ingredients. It has good content because of the beans, the peas. And you were talking about tofu, and I kept thinking there's a lot of people around me who, as soon as they hear tofu, are like, oh, no, I don't like tofu. I don't like the texture. So first of all, you have to know how to prepare it when it comes to tofu so that it doesn't become spongy, like they say.
Yeah.
And yes, to make it feel like ground beef, it's going to take a few more steps, whereas TVP is very easy to work with, even if you buy it raw and you don't buy the Oudélic brand. Let's say you just have to hydrate it, and the texture is very close to meat with the hydration, and the flavor is there because of the spices.
Yeah. So this is already pre-made. If I want something that tastes like chicken, it's not chicken, but it tastes like it, that reminds you of it. So if you have like a recipe that has chicken in it, you can substitute with this. First of all, it's cost effective in this day and age, in this economy. Second of all, it has all the protein. How many grams is it?
So they each have, per portion, it's about 15 and up based on my
15,
recipe.
That's a lot of protein also for a product like this. And it's like easy to create. So we're always on the run. And the minute I get home, I can just put it in a pan and just...
Exactly. So this is a product line that we want to have in the fresh aisle next to the tofus so that whoever says, oh no, I don't like tofu, I want them to grab a pack of Oudélic. It's simple and it's easy.
Let's talk about that. This is a completely new product category. So you went from rebranding 50 Végane, which you didn't do, to venturing into creating a whole new product category. It's a big challenge because you need to educate the audience. They're going to go to the fridge. They're going to see all the tofu. And then this thing that looks like tofu, but not tofu, like, I don't know what it is. I might dismiss it and say, like, whatever, I don't want this because I'm used to the tofu. Um, are you ready for the challenge? That's the first question.
I'm ready. And lately, we've been seeing a lot of other companies who have dry vegetable proteins, and they have been branding it very well, I must
Yeah.
say. So I think the general public has a certain idea of what TVP is. More and more people have spoken about it.
Yeah.
Of course, the challenge is there to stand out
Yeah.
on the aisle when there are so many other alternatives too next to the tofu. But yeah, we're ready. I mean, we know our product, we trust our product. It's good. We've tested it in the frozen aisle in some stores and it works. But I have come to realize that myself, and I know we've spoken about
Yeah.
this too, we don't really have the habit of going and grabbing meat that we're going to have from the freezer.
Yeah.
So knowing that, I'm like, okay, I have to change my focus and I have to bring it in the fridge because that's where people go to grab their protein that they're going to have that day. And if they want to freeze it, just like when you buy meat or chicken, you
Yeah.
can freeze it.
Mhm.
So
Oh, it's total. Oh, you can put it in the freezer.
yeah, of course, you can put it in the
Okay.
freezer. And just in the fridge, because it is packed without the air, it is going to be 45 to 90 days.
That's great.
Yeah. So it has a long shelf life. And then when you open it, this is not like tofu. It keeps for 2 weeks in the fridge. So,
Okay.
and it's a very
I like
convenient.
I'm gonna test it out on my
Yeah.
sweet potato
You
instead
should.
of instead of the tofu that I
Yeah.
didn't want to create, basically. So tell me more about the ingredients. We talked that the base is TVP, which is vegetable protein.
Yeah.
It's made out of peas
Peas and
and
fava beans.
fava beans. So what else is in this pack?
Basically just water that we hydrated it with and the spices. That's basically it.
Yeah.
We used to add canola oil a long time ago to make it, I guess it was just, we didn't even need it actually.
Yeah.
But because our parents are used to using oils in foods,
Yeah.
it was something that my mom always used in her recipes. And then with time, our audience, our clients, kept saying, why do you have oil? We don't like to, there was a
Yes.
whole trend of not using oils in
Yeah.
your food, especially canola oil and
Yeah.
stuff. So we removed it and we saw that it's lighter, it tastes better, all the flavors are there. So now it's really basically the TVP, water, and spices.
And is the mix we're going to talk about the mix and the recipes because you work with your mom.
Yeah.
And everything is basically tested. The R&D is your mom,
Right.
let's just say.
The R&D is her mixing and me tasting all the time, yeah.
So how did she come up with these recipes?
So it's basically what she used to do to prepare meats and chickens way back when she had the restaurant.
Yes.
And that's how our history started. If you remember, we had a restaurant. It was a full-on Mediterranean restaurant with real meat, real chicken. And then because our habits were changing, we weren't eating animal proteins anymore. We had to experiment with other proteins. And that's when a lady came in promoting her TVP. Back then, we used to use a soy-based TVP.
Yes.
And we said, okay, let's try it. Let's give it a try if we're going to be a vegetarian vegan restaurant as we were changing our habits. So that's how it all began. It began with that one lady who walked in with her samples of TVP. And we saw that if we used the same marinades but just changed the base,
Yeah.
we can get the same flavors. So that's how our history started.
Yeah. So it started with well, if you want to go back to the story of Tamar, you can go back to the previous episode. We're going to link to it, and you can hear all the story about the restaurant and working with her mom and all of that. But basically, the product contained soy, and it contained seed oil, which are like the big no-nos today. And this one is clean of all of those things. Like it doesn't have the ingredients that people are basically running away from.
Exactly. People and us too.
And us too, exactly. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
I wouldn't try it if it's like I wouldn't eat it often if it's soy.
Yeah.
It's not good to have it like all the time. We all have soy at some point, but not
Yeah,
like
I
on a
guess
daily
just
basis.
like everything, right? Something that you have all the time is always not good. Even if you have chicken all the time or meat all the time,
Yeah.
it's not good for you. So you have to be able to have alternatives. And why not have a healthy alternative?
Mhm. I actually take a protein. I'm not gonna mention the brand name, but I take a protein shake that's plant-based.
Mm-hmm.
And this morning I was looking at it and I saw that it's pea protein, and I was gonna ask you about it, and it turned out that your product is
Yeah.
also pea protein. Somehow in my mind, I just have the beans, but it
Yeah.
turns out that it's pea also, and it's one
Yeah.
of the very known brands with
It
like the
is.
cleanest label and everything. So
Yeah. And you have to be careful too because I guess with some ingredients you have to make sure that it's organic. And
yes,
our protein is organic pea, organic fava bean proteins. So we've made sure that it's top of the line,
yes,
excellent protein that we use in our product line.
super important.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I mean, people are more and more aware of ingredients. There's a lot of talk on social media, whether it's on TikTok, Instagram, or on different podcasts.
Yeah.
There's a lot of health gurus who talk about eating clean food, eating non-processed foods, etc. So this is the closest you can get to in the plant-based world. I don't want to call it vegan because I don't have to be a vegan person to
Oh, of
also eat
course.
this. So if I'm eating my steak and my ground beef on some days, I can also mix it up and, eat the different
Mm-hmm.
plant-based proteins that are clean, that have good ingredients, as you're saying, organic pea
Yeah.
protein, organic fava beans, and
Yeah.
all of that. So it's super important
Yeah.
to also include everybody in your equation. Is that how you thought about um, when you decided to do Oudélic? Did you think about everybody or just like people who are vegan? Because
Yeah.
for 57, whether the restaurant or the brand, it was more the vegan
Yeah.
world, people who are only vegan, etc.
Yeah.
But with Oudélic, are you
Of
diversifying a little bit?
course, and that's why we wanted to change the name because people kept saying, your 57 vegan is limiting your audience. And I get it, because of all the misconceptions people have. It's gonna take a lot of time before people step away from all of that.
Yeah.
So, with Oudélic, I'm not mentioning vegan anywhere.
Yes.
And the product looks like meat. The
Mhm.
texture is good, so I think it's going to be able to cater to a broader audience.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sold,
Yeah.
and I'm not vegan. So just to recap, Oudélic is meat alternative that's healthy, that
Mhm.
has clean ingredients,
Correct.
that has a lot of protein.
Yes.
What else? Did I miss something?
And it's very flavorful and it's very simple to use. You can eat it cold or hot. It has a long shelf life and you can freeze it. So there's no disadvantage really.
There's one more thing. Easy to prepare.
Easy to
So for
prepare. It's
people who
ready.
are on the go,
Yeah.
if you have this stocked in your fridge,
Yeah.
you'll just be able to put it in a pan,
Put
eat
it in
it.
a pan or in a sandwich. In the morning you're preparing your lunch. Just open up a tortilla, put your sauce in it, some vegetables, and this meat alternative. And
We don't
that's
have
it.
to heat.
You don't have to heat it because it's
Oh,
pre-cooked, pre-marinated.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm imagining all the recipes like
Yeah.
taco,
Absolutely.
beef balls,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, pasta, sauce bolognese. Does
Of
it work?
course, yeah,
I'm just
they've been
imagining.
doing it in daycares right now with our ground TVP. It's just salt and pepper on our ground beef
Yeah,
TVP. So you can use it in all kinds of sauces, all
really
kinds of
cool.
recipes.
Can we add like spices if I wanted more to taste more like beef tacos?
For
Can I
sure.
add like tacos?
I did that last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I added taco seasoning to it.
I'm gonna try it. I'll post it on Instagram. If I try it, I'll show you.
Yeah.
I'll show you on my stories. Um, what else can you tell us about Oudélic? When will it be available? By the way, it's not in stores yet.
Yeah.
It's gonna be launched soon.
Very
But we're
soon.
just introducing this new product to everyone as an update from last episode
Exactly.
and as a new product category
Yeah.
in the market. So tell us more about when it's gonna be available and all the details.
So for this product line, we have decided to work with a co-packer, and he's also going to be cooking the TVP for us. So it's all going to be outsourced just because we want this brand to really be available everywhere.
Yeah.
And my mom and I are very limited.
Of course.
The facility we've chosen is amazing. It's a big facility. They actually produce their own tofu. They
Mm-hmm.
had they have their whole line set up, and it was very exciting to see that and to imagine our products being made in a big facility like that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see how and where we could end up with
Yeah.
this, so it's very, very exciting. Of course, when you work with someone like that, the certifications are there. The sky's the limit of where you can send your product. So we have been wishing that we can get out of Quebec as well. And I
Of
think
course.
this is going to take us there. So we are aiming for end of March to hit the market. We just have to finalize the packaging and get
Mm-hmm.
some certification documentation done.
Yes.
And so end of March, I think before end of March, we'll start a small scale on our website and in small stores. But end of March, it'll be in stores,
Yeah.
hopefully.
So if you want to be up to date with Oudélic, what's happening, you have to follow them on Instagram. We're
Yes.
going to link to it. Either follow 57 Vegan
Mm-hmm.
or the Oudélic Instagram account.
Yeah.
We will link to everything so that you can do that, and you can definitely be
Part
in
of,
the loop
yeah.
and part of the launch experience
Yes.
of this new product. I'm super excited for Oudélic. I feel like I'm invested, even
Yeah.
though it's not it's not something that I created and I never thought I would be interested in a vegan product, but I just love the idea that it's super easy to use
Yeah.
and I'll get all my protein,
Yeah.
especially now that it's Lent and we cannot
Of
have our
course.
steaks and our chickens and all of that.
Exactly.
So it would be really beneficial to use this in our recipes. Um, Tamar, what can you tell us a little bit more about um, like behind the
Mm-hmm.
scenes in your operations? What's going on behind the scenes in coming up with this? You
Yeah.
talked about the big facility where you're operating and you're creating all this, but
Yeah.
what else?
There's a lot of planning involved, and there's a lot of convincing done to my mom because she's very protective of her recipes and
Yeah.
of, who's going to do what. Is it going to come out the way we wanted? Of course, there was a lot of testing done with the facility as well. Um, so we know our product. We knew how much we were getting when we were marinating, when we were hydrating this product, and then it went to the facility, and they could only get half of what we were
Oh.
producing. So there was a lot of R&D to be done with the preparation of the product. Of course, it's very different from tofu, so they had to do some testing. But until we got there, it was a long process.
Yeah.
First, we had to let go of our product, of our baby, and say it's okay for someone else to make it for us because we have to put our energy into selling this
Yeah. And marketing it.
and marketing it. It takes a lot of time. And yeah, behind the scenes was not pretty all the time.
Yes, of course.
And
How many batches did you make?
I mean, the batches are okay. We were still using it. It's just the recipes changed for
Yeah.
sure because we had to simplify it. And then because the facility is certified, now I had to go back and get, I had a very good spice supplier who was certified, but now we want him to do the actual spice mixes for us. So the mixes go to the
Oh,
producer.
so ready-made, all
Everything
of it.
is easy. So there's a lot of you have to think like machines, okay, this
Yeah.
goes there, it has to be
Yeah.
mixed in. It's not a person who's gonna stand and measure like my mom and put in the salt and the spices.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like I said, it feels like it's been years since we
This is
spoke
going
last
to
time.
scale, Tamar. This is going
I
to
really,
scale.
really, really hope so because we've been in this business for
Yes.
12 years now with the sandwiches. And
Yeah.
even though it's good, I couldn't see it growing. I can't see it being exported because of the short shelf
Yeah.
life. So this is going to take us to the next level, I hope.
It will, for
I
sure.
believe it.
For sure, for sure. Tell me about something that happened, like a major conflict that happened within your company, whether it's because of your mom or because of an ingredient or something, like a big challenge and that you had to solve? I mean, you're not new. It's been 12 years that you're operating
Yeah.
in this world, in the plant-based world, so that we don't call it vegan. So tell me a little bit more about these challenges.
There's a lot of challenges when you run a business.
Of
First
course.
of all, it's a good thing it's my mom because we fight a lot. But at the end of the day, she's my mom
Yeah.
and I'm her daughter, so we don't stay mad at each other. But on a daily basis, it's a battle, because we are growing and it's very unpredictable, honestly, from one month to the next.
Yeah.
Like just yesterday, we were fighting because I'm like, Mom, we're out of tofu. Mom, we're out of the Philly mix. And how are we going to make it? Which order don't you want me to send out?
Yeah.
I was like really mad. And then, of course, we find a way. We run to the store, we grab our ingredients, and we start making again. But I know she's tired too. It's been a long process with the sandwiches.
Yeah.
So that's one conflict we always have because our volumes are changing and we constantly have to change our production quantity,
Yeah.
which is a good thing.
That's in terms of the sandwiches from 50
Yeah,
Cent.
yeah, that's the problem we currently have. Other challenges is always people challenge. Like I always have problems with drivers. I tried outsourcing it and it costs so much money to outsource it, so I always bring it back in. Especially that we've had an electric delivery car since many, many years now,
Yes.
and we see the benefits of that. So when I have to put extra money for a gas operated truck, it hurts me because we've done costing otherwise. So every time I have to put
Yeah.
extra money into delivery services, I have to think about raising prices and I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's another
That's
challenge.
another challenge.
My mom always
Exactly.
telling me to raise the prices. And I'm like, Mom, no, I want this to stay
Yeah.
affordable because I want people to look at that aisle and say, okay, there's an alternative to the chicken product and let me grab that because the ingredients are clean. I don't want to raise my prices.
Yeah.
So it's always challenging, but challenges bring on other things too. They have good sides sometimes because you come up with other ways of producing, other creative
Yeah.
processes come up. Or you add other family members. So my dad is my delivery driver now. He's currently out grabbing protein for us.
Yeah. It's a
So
family
it's a
affair.
family affair, exactly, which brings us closer too. And I get to spend so much time with them when my days are very long and I'm working all the time. At least I'm spending it
That's
with them.
nice.
So yeah, have good sides too.
Yeah. I mean, there's always the good and the bad in every equation. Um, I don't know. Like I've worked with my family too, and I know how it was. But also, you learn a lot from them,
Of
from their
course.
experiences, from
Of course.
the ways, like their work ethics, and all of those things. So
Yeah.
I think it's win-win, and it's nice to spend time with
Of
our parents.
course. And I've realized that oh my God, I'm so protective of my parents.
Yeah.
When my dad said he wanted to do my deliveries, I'm like, no, Dad, I can't send you out. It's cold. It's a lot of waiting.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go on the first run with him to show him, okay, you have to go to this store. This is the dock, blah, blah, blah. I'm overthinking everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't have to come with me. He took it. He went. He came back in a few hours. Everything was fine. So I feel like we kind of become so protective of them.
We become the parents to our
Yeah.
pets. I do the same.
Yeah.
I do the same with my mom. Mom, where are you going
Yeah,
out in this hour? It's
exactly.
dangerous. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Yeah. The things that they used to do to us when we were
Yeah.
young, now we
yeah,
do to them.
exactly.
All right. What's one last thing you tell to our audience who are willing to venture into the
Yeah.
CPG world, which is very difficult? As the guest in my previous episode mentioned, it's all about the pennies and saving the cent on every single product. What do you tell them? What's the one advice you can
I
give?
think the one advice I would give is we did it the wrong way. We put in a lot of our money and investments. When I see, there's one brand I always talk about. I won't say their name now.
Yeah.
I met them because of Marché 57 when I had the grocery line. They had just started. It was during COVID. And they're younger than me, and it was their first, I guess, business, and they were very smart. They went out and got all the grants they could. They built their facility. They were able to grow. They're in all the stores now. So it's all about the pennies, yes, and make sure that you're not killing yourself and your cash,
Yeah,
your personal cash, because there are programs out there that are available.
exactly.
And I learned the hard way. I didn't know about them. So
Yeah.
that's one advice I wish someone had told me. I wish I knew about that.
Yeah.
So that's one very, very important point,
Yeah.
I think.
It's so true that we have the tendency to think that we can do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't go. There's a lot of organizations
Yeah.
that can help. There's a lot of grants
Mm-hmm.
for, I don't know, less than 35, or if you're making this amount of money or that amount.
Yeah.
Like there's different categories of
At
grants.
every level.
Yeah, you can go there and get those. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things. You just need to always put yourself out there, ask questions, get more
Absolutely.
information, be surrounded by people. Like just don't do it alone, because
Yeah. Because
I
we
I
don't
also
know.
learned that in my business also. I used to think that I can do it alone, and then the more I meet people, the more I talk to people, like my producers,
Yeah.
also they help me out a lot
Yeah.
with, doing everything. So I cannot do it alone, and I learned that the hard way. I don't know if it's a
Exactly.
cultural thing.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. But I'm glad you mentioned that, because only in the last 2 years I've started networking within my industry. And before that, I was doing it alone. I was trying to get
Yeah.
answers online. But ever since I have this community I've surrounded myself with, if we have questions, we write to each other and we learn from each other's experience, be it with distributors or, everything about this market. You won't know everything on your own. So
100%.
the network you have is so important.
Thank you so much, Tamar, for being a guest on this podcast
Thank
one more
you.
time.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
Of course. To all the listeners, I'll be back next week with a new episode.